All right, well, we're either at halftime, almost at halftime, or just after halftime in the majority of these 3:30 afternoon games. And we've got a couple of good ones, I guess, and really some surprises. Oklahoma State is all over Baylor. This game's actually in the third quarter now, I believe, and Oklahoma State has just scored again at the start of the third quarter. They're up big over Baylor, which is a surprise to me. Not necessarily that they're winning, but I thought that was going to be a great game. You know, that was one of the best games of the entire year last year, was that Big 12 title game between Oklahoma State and Baylor. And so far, this one's not living up to it. Oklahoma State all over Baylor as I watch Oklahoma State run into the end zone on a kickoff return. The Wake Forest-Florida State game, well, I'm glad you asked. 21-7, Wake Forest up over Florida State. We'll see what happens in the second half, but this is kind of the game I expected. I do think Florida State is good and better than pretty much everybody thought they were going to be this year, but I didn't know if they were going to be able to keep up with Wake Forest, and so far, at least in the first half, it looks like they're not. We'll see what happens in the second half. Alabama all over Arkansas. Arkansas did finally score there at the end of the second half, so shout out to Arkansas for not getting shut out at least against Alabama at home for Arkansas. Not a good performance for Arkansas in the first half. Multiple turnovers, drop passes. KJ Jefferson throwing the ball has not looked great at all. Defensively, I feel like Arkansas has played okay for most snaps, but the snaps that they don't play okay, it's really bad. Alabama's got a ton of big plays in this game. 2 huge pass plays in particular. 2 big punt return plays. He's just given up a lot of big plays, that Arkansas defense, and Alabama's all over 28-7. Of course, big story on that one. Like I made a video, I don't know, a little while ago. Bryce Young has been injured in that game, and I don't know how serious it is yet. I can find more out later, I guess, but it's some sort of a shoulder injury, and it doesn't look good. We'll see. Hopefully he doesn't have to miss a lot of time. Alabama's getting ready to enter a stretch of games here where they play Texas A&M, Tennessee, LSU, Mississippi State. So we'll see with the whole Bryce Young thing, but they've looked good with Jalen Milroe so far in the time that he played there in the second quarter. I'm assuming he's going to play the entire second half, so this will be the most we've seen at one time, really, of Jalen Milroe, especially in an SEC game. So we'll see what he can do in the second half. In the second half of that one. You want a few other updates? Fine, I'll give you a few other updates. Ohio State started off slow today against Rutgers. They're actually down 7-0 at one point, then tied 7 apiece for a while. But they're starting to pull away now, up 28-7 at halftime over Rutgers. Kansas is trying to keep things going against Iowa State. Halftime there. This is a home game for Kansas, and they've got the lead over Iowa State, 14-8. Kansas trying to get to 5-0. Unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. Kansas about to get to 5-0. Meanwhile, Florida and Sunbelt Billy still have a grand total of 0 SEC wins this season, and that's not changing this weekend. They're still going to have 0 SEC wins after this weekend. Absolutely pitiful. Michigan State looks like about to drop their 3rd game in a row. Maryland's up on them 21-13 at halftime. Virginia Tech, oh my God, Virginia Tech's offense is so bad, they can't even score on North Carolina. Halftime of that one, Virginia Tech's only got 10 points at halftime against North Carolina. I could get 10 of my neighbors to play offense and score more than 10 points and a half on North Carolina, but North Carolina's up 24-10 over Virginia Tech at halftime. Nothing else really. Let's see. Mississippi State up 14-0 over Texas A&M. That's a little surprising. 23 seconds to go until halftime, and Texas A&M's got a really good defense. I know they've struggled offensively, and Mississippi State doesn't have the greatest defense in the world either. So I'm kind of surprised that this one's 14-0 Mississippi State. But it is. Syracuse up 14-0 over Wagner. They're trying to remain undefeated. What the hell is a Wagner? I don't know. LSU and Auburn play tonight at 7. I'll be live streaming tonight on YouTube, probably about 7:30 or so. I'm going to start a live stream for all the primetime games. So if y'all are going to be watching the primetime games tonight, you want to hang out and talk some college football with us in the comments section and with me on YouTube, then come check that out tonight around 7:30. I'm live streaming right now on Patreon for the afternoon games, but I'll be on YouTube tonight for the primetime games. LSU at Auburn at 7 o'clock. What else we got tonight? Of course, NC State and Clemson at 7:30, one of the biggest games of the week. I think that's going to be a really good game. At least as a football fan, I'm at least hoping that ends up being a good game. We'll see. NC State on the road at Clemson, both teams undefeated. First ever top 10 versus top 10 matchup in the history of North Carolina State's football program. That surprised me. They've been ranked in the top 10 before, but they've never played another team ranked in the top 10 while they've been top 10. So we'll see how that one shakes out. West Virginia on the road at Texas tonight at 7:30. No Quinn Ewers. I guess it's been announced today that he's going to sit out at least one more week this week. So we'll see. West Virginia traveling all the way out there to take on the Longhorns. Indiana at Nebraska, Virginia at Duke, all these coming up tonight. Georgia Tech minus Jeff Collins on the road at Pittsburgh, 8 o'clock tonight. Of course, Georgia and Missouri at 7:30 as well. Let's see, 8 o'clock games, Georgia Tech at Pittsburgh, we mentioned that. Pac-12 after dark tonight. Utah all over Oregon State, by the way. Just absolutely humiliating them. Oregon won big too, I believe. No, Oregon plays tonight against Stanford, so they probably will win big. Oregon hosts Stanford tonight at 11 o'clock. Got to stay up late to see that one. 10:30 Arizona State on the road at Southern Cal. So there you go, halftime report, halftime games. Hope Bryce Young's can get back. Hope we get to see him some more this year. He's a fun player to watch. I'm a Georgia fan, so you know it is what it is. But you don't want to see anybody get injured. So hopefully he can get squared away. And we haven't seen the last of Bryce Young, so I don't know how serious the injury is. We'll find more out, I guess, in the next couple of days. Second half getting ready to start. Arkansas and Alabama, 28-7. Alabama up on top. Jalen Milroe showing the second half of that one. We'll see how it goes. Anyway, have a good morning.